Hello, everybody. It's me, Fee, White Zulu, and I want to welcome you to another chapter of, another chapter of Okavango Diary. And I hope you're enjoying these readings. I want to welcome you all. And if you are enjoying them, please share or press the like button or whatever people do if they want to. I'm sorry, I'm a bit Diomaka today. I haven't got any words in front of me to read, so I'm doing this off the cuff. However, this is a greeting to you all and a welcome, and I hope that you enjoy these chapters that I'm reading out. They go out twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, if all goes well. And enjoy them, and thank you so much for listening to them. Share them around. Thank you and goodbye. And the guests have gone out. I do a round of the masasas to check that the cleaning and bed changes are being done properly. I carry a very long-handled feather duster with me so that I can get at the cobwebs right in the highest beams of the thatched roof, as there is no ceiling. There are lots of Peter's epauletted fruit bats, which have put themselves to bed under the eaves of the thatch at dawn, hanging there upside down. Oh dear, done it again. Bear with me, folks. It's not my best day today. Hanging there upside down by their feet in bunches like fruit. I simply cannot resist tickling their tummies with the feather duster and watch them as they indignantly chitter and rustle their leathery wings, pulling them further around their furry bellies, away from the offending feathers. I know that the guests would probably freak out if they knew that they were walking underneath bats every time they went into their huts in the daytime. But luckily, they never look up, and those bats are well camouflaged. Fred has finally been able to fix the pump, but the filter is broken beyond repair. He has radioed Mound to ask them to send him a new one, and they have said they would look around and find a second-hand one locally. He's fuming because the cost of a new filter can't be more than 50 pula, 20 pounds. And in the meantime, the water coming out of the taps is slightly murky. Done it again. With silt, and guests are complaining. All the drinking water is available in bottled water sold at guest prices. We staff have the choice of paying a large chunk of our salary towards drinking fresh water or taking a chance and drinking the tap water. Since I am saving up to buy my uniform or pay for it, also at guest prices from the gift shop, I simply can't afford to pay so much for bottled water. Anyway, all my life I have drunk water which comes straight out of the Umgeni River, so I'm not too worried about it. But now I can't take the chance of drinking this murky, unfiltered swamp water. So I have to pay for my drinks as well. Thursday, 14th of August, we have had Madame with several highfalutin surnames staying in Masasa number 1. She stepped grandly off the boat, dressed in designer khaki shirt and top. Sorry, skirt and top from Paris. Paris. As she delicately extended her gloved hand to us, she said her name was Petronella. Well, our pet is a real pain. So far, she has insulted the very nice French Swiss guests who have asked her whether she speaks French. She says she's Dutch, and she haughtily replied, "It would hardly be possible not to in Paris, rude bitch." She arrived too late for a boat excursion, so she told Fred to take her for a walk around the camp. He was in the process of trying to splice the water pipes that the elephant broke the night before, so that the guests could have hot water for their showers and baths, and was up to his elbows in mud. She then told Kira to take her for a walk. Kira was greeting all the other 14 guests off the boats and trying to restock the bar. Madame couldn't find me as I was hiding from her, and also far too busy issuing all the ingredients for dinner from the pantry and freezer room. This morning, she told me to wash her lingerie, so I handed her a small box of Omo soap powder, telling her that we have a laundry service, but they don't wash delicate underwear. She handed back the Omo and told me to get the daffodils to wash them for her. Madame Pet calls our female staff daffodils because they wear a bright yellow uniform with an apron and duck to match. I handed the box back again and told her the reason we don't let our staff wash delicate underwear is because they normally scrub their washing on a rock in the river. This wasn't true. I only said it to stop this futile argument and be rid of her. Although when I was growing up on the farm, all our female staff used to take their own washing down to the Mgeni River on Sunday afternoons, well out of sight of my mother. There they sprinkled their wet clothes with a sliver of soap from their rations, then put each item on a big boulder and pounded it with a smaller rock. Naturally, the fabric couldn't take this kind of a beating and wore quickly to shreds. It didn't help matters that they always hung their washing out to dry on the barbed wire fences surrounding their kraal. Then she told us that, this is Pet again, on excursions, she would drink bottled spring water with lime, but only from a glass. Everyone else drinks from the bottle or plastic glasses. She told Fred that she wasn't going out on excursions with people who talked the whole time and wanted a makoro and a guide to herself. After she finally capitulated, Englishman has just brought the boat back with her group and says that she talks the whole time, even when he'd asked her to whisper so as not to scare the game. He added, "She talks like she's in town." Our Pet has had several facelifts, and the grey roots are noticeably growing back in her hair, but she's très élégante and has brought a suitcase full of makeup and vitamin pills. She eats like a horse, though. I noticed that Madame Pet has not once said please or thank you, and treats us staff as if she was Lady Astor and we were her personal servants. Friday, 15th of August. We've just heard that the owners of our 2 camps and the safari company and their partner and his wife are coming up for the night. Oh ho, we said. Now Madame will get what she deserves if she insults one of them. When they arrived, Kira and I were scrambling over each other to get to the boat first, to tell them how awful Madame is and to warn them about her. Our boss said grimly that he'd soon put her in her place. Now we realized that the other man, Vito, is the new owner of Tsaro and Kugana lodges. They had been sold even before I joined the company as a staff member. He's German, about 40-ish, and has 7 children. When his wife got out of the boat, I thought she looked jolly young and certainly not like the mother of 7 kids. She has long tanned legs, tiny shorts, and honey blonde hair. Her name is Britta, and she's also German. Madame came back from her afternoon excursion later that day, and we introduced her to the owners. She couldn't have been more charming. All through drinks and dinner, she was smiling, chatty, amusing, complimentary, and thanking Kira and me gratefully for all our attentions. This was not the same woman who had plagued us for the previous 2 days. The next day, Saturday, 16th of August, Kira and I had to sidle up to our boss and try to explain that there'd been a transformation with Madame Pet, but we have no idea why, nor will we ever have any clue either. After Vito and our bosses had left to fly to Tsaro, I, who had been so hospitable and respectful to Britta all this time, said something to Kira about how young she looked. Kira doubled up laughing and said, no, that was just a whore that Vito had hired for their little jaunt to the lodges. Mrs. Vito's back at home in Germany with the 7 kids. I was so cross when I thought back and remembered apologizing to that tramp that her champagne glass was a different shape to his when I'd taken them drinks to their room. Saturday, 17th of August. Lions were roaring very loudly in the camp all night. By the way, there's no sign of our elephants since we got the 12-bore back. There's a buzz around the camps in the district over the radio that he had wandered into a hunter's camp not far from here and has been shot for his ivory. We hope this is just a rumor and not true. But it is ominous that he hasn't been seen for nearly a week now. That evening, as we have very few guests and they've gone to bed early, Fred excuses himself and asks me to turn the generator off. Since Oscar left, he's been doing it self, not trusting gladly. I'll tell you about him later on to that task. The Jenny is some distance from the main camp and situated right behind Moxa, where the permanent manager can turn it off when he goes to bed there. At 10 o'clock, I pick up my nice, heavy 8-cell maglite torch and walk off down the long path and over the rickety bridge made from poles lying from bank to bank over an inlet of water towards the generator hut. When I'm 20 feet from the hut, my light picks up a bank of eyes. And I know they're not hippos, as those are very wide apart, and they're not red, so they can't be crocs. I creep forward very quietly and discover 5 lionesses lying up against the warm corrugated iron of the generator hut. Being winter, it's still quite chilly at night, and them, being cats, they love the warmth. To switch the Jenny off, I had to go right through the narrow door and into the depths of the cramped corrugated iron hut. 2 lionesses were lying right up against and blocking the entrance. And I wasn't sure whether there were any more right inside the tiny pitch-dark hut. I'm only a few yards away now and I'm not sure what to do. I could run towards them shouting and waving my arms to chase them away, but it's really dark out there and I'm just not brave enough. That might work in the daytime, but I don't think anyone's tried it at night. I back away very carefully, walking backwards and keeping my torch and my eyes trained on these 5 big cats. They don't get up or move in any way. So as soon as I think I'm far away enough, I break into a brisk trot, rattling loudly over the bridge, back to the safety of the buildings. The next morning, I apologized to Fred for running the generator all night, but he said he would have done the same thing himself. If I'd still had my own old torch, I reckon I would have tripped right over those lionesses, leaving an entirely different ending to my diary. That's all, folks, for now. Chapter 8 awaits in a week's time. Thank you for listening. And it's me signing out. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to my videos and my stories of my life. And I want to thank John Moslane for being what I call the sound engineer, but I'm sure there's a more professional word for it. However, faithful, and for 4 years now, I think, he has been here for me every Wednesday. Well, I think it's Wednesdays, but once a week to record 2 chapters of whichever book it is I'm reading. And without him, this couldn't be done. So a big thank you to John. Also, Sean van Vuren, we send the videos to him. Sorry, I'm not reading this. I'm just doing it off the cuff. And my brain is a bit Jumaka. And Sean uploads them to the YouTube channel where you can find them all in playlists. He does it beautifully. And I want to thank them both for all the help that they give me. Well, it's not help. They do everything for me. And it's a great asset. So also, I have a website called whitezulubook.com, obviously www in front of it. But you'll find it there. Quite easy to find. Johnny Clegg's called The White Zulu. Mine's called White Zulu. And you will find on my website, you'll find all kinds of photographs going way back to when my ancestors settled in the Cape, 1652. Well, not photographs of them, but descriptions, this photograph of my grandmother's wedding, and lovely, lovely photos of the farm we still own. My sister sent me a photograph this morning of the farm in midsummer, and she says how beautiful it's looking. I've had a lot of rain. So, just want to thank my helpers, John and Sean, to thank you all for listening, and also please share this with everybody else. Hit the like button and enjoy. Goodbye.